Hello everyone, my name is Jay and I just passed my CompTIA CSA Plus or CySA Plus cybersecurity analyst certification yesterday. So I thought I would share my experience, how I prepared and how I felt the exam was and how I passed within 2 weeks, so that it would benefit somebody. And just before that, I have done my Security Plus, CompTIA Security Plus exam earlier this year in January. I have also made a video about it and how I passed the Security Plus in 10 days, and I put it on YouTube. I will leave a link in the description below if you might find it helpful. It is not a prerequisite to do Security Plus before doing the CySA Plus or CSA Plus, but you will find it beneficial if you do it, because most of the terminology is same, and you will automatically know when you're going through the CSA Plus course material, right? So the exam was taken within the comfort of my home, because CompTIA now, through Pearson VUE, they are now offering remote proctoring online exam. So I started my exam at 8:30 in the night. So this time yesterday, I was doing my exam, right? And I can take it up to 9:30 in the night, and then exam lasts for, it says 3.5 hours appointment, but actual exam is 2 hours 45 minutes. So I had 70 questions. And I took the entire 2 hour 45 minutes. You know why in a minute. Right, first things first, what I've done is I went on to Udemy and I bought a course by Jason Dion training. So the course was CS0-001, and I also bought 5 practice tests at the same time. I think I bought it for like £13 each or something like that. Cheap, I wouldn't say cheap, but very cost effective. Absolutely brilliant material. Jason is a good trainer, and that's the only course I have done, and those are the only practice tests I have done, nothing else. Literally, I know I say this, right? In my last video, I said for Security Plus, I cleared it in less than 10 days, and this is in 2 weeks, exactly 2 weeks. As you can, I'm not sure if you can see here, I just started taking my notes for CySA Plus on 9th of April, and yesterday was 23rd of April, and exactly 2 weeks. I do have some experience in the IT and networks, and a little bit of experience in security as well. So I may have find it a bit easier because of my experience, and also because I have done Security Plus. I wasn't dedicating certain amount of time every day for those 2 weeks, but some days I was doing 2 hours, some days I didn't do anything at all, some days I was doing 3-4 hours, right? But in the end, just 2 days before the exam, I managed to finish the entire course, right? And just 2 days before, we finished the entire course and then started taking the practice tests. And I made sure I finished all the practice tests a day before the exam, and I have marked up. I have listed all the marks in a spreadsheet on 6 practice tests in total. And one of the domain, which I think it was incident management, I was scoring really low, so I went through that again, and I did threat management as well, this time at 1.25 speed, because I have to do the revision quite fast. Anyway, so I was scoring about 80-85, still a failure mark in the practice test, but I had to bite the bullet and take the exam, because I already moved the exam around for like 6 times. Because it's an online exam, you can literally reschedule just 2 minutes before the exam starts, right? So, it was easier. Sometimes I was just postponing it for like half an hour, 1 hour. Just before I started the exam, I rescheduled it for half an hour later, and then I started the exam. So you get the gist. But Jason Dion, absolutely brilliant. Just that's the only course I have done. I'm not a big book person. Video. Right, how did the exam go? Exam started, it took 15 minutes before actually the screen comes up, because it's a remote proctoring. They have to, you have to take photos of your space. You have to upload your identity, and then somebody on the other side texts you about what's happening, and then they say they aim to launch the exam session within 15 minutes of after the appointment time. So it was actually true. My exam appointment was 8:30, and then a console launched at 8:45, right? And off I go. It's once the console launches, it's same as you do in Pearson VUE Exam Center. Although somebody is monitoring because the video feed is live. At some point, I was just mumbling. I was just reading the questions a bit louder, and they text me. They chatted with me saying, you can't mumble or read louder because it violates the security policy of the exam. So somebody is monitoring you. In the exam, as soon as I started the exam, there were 4 scenario-based questions, and the strategy was simple: skip the scenario questions straight away without even looking at it, without even reading them, nothing, just like, and then go straight to 5th question, because scenario questions will take a lot of time and you don't want to waste time on them, right? And from the 5th question, I had about 70 questions in total, so I managed to do all the 65 questions or 66 questions in about 1 hour and 40 minutes or something like that, or even 1.5 hours. And then I came back to the scenario based question. I have highlighted lots of questions for review later, especially in the first 10 questions, right? They were so, I wouldn't say difficult, but probably difficult, because I haven't seen them in any practice test. But if you know the material, if you know the content, and hopefully you will know the answers. For the first 10 questions, I felt like I'm taking a different exam altogether. And this is just CS0-001, CSA Plus. It's not even the next version, which is coming, I think, which is live now, but I'm not sure if you can take online exam just now. It was in beta until before April. And CSA0-001 is going to be retiring after October of this year, so you still have time to take the easier of the both, right? So exam, loads of questions on logging, looking at the logs, looking at the firewall rules, looking at the malware, things like that. So make sure you pay extra focus on your threat management, your vulnerability management, them. And once I finished the 66 questions, I came back to the performance-based questions, and I managed to finish them in time, no issues at all. But I intentionally let the console run out, the exam run out of time. I was just reviewing all the questions. I marked them highlighted them for review, just to make sure. But after, as I said, after doing the 10 questions, I felt like I was taking a different exam altogether, and I didn't think I would pass. I have pretty much given up. I was like, anyway, I'm not going to pass it. Anyway, I'm going to do the exam again, so just do whatever. But I still paid attention. So when I press the finish exam, obviously you have to take a survey, and it says 15 minutes, but there are 12 questions about your age and what do you do and all that. If you answer those 12 questions and click next, that's when you see the result. And luckily for me, I passed, which was huge relief, because I don't want to go through the practice again. I have tons of other stuff to do, right? So that's pretty much it. Udemy, decent. I find it really helpful. In the past, Security Plus, I have done the same thing. Although Security Plus, I have taken 2 different courses. That's pretty much it. Hope it helps somebody. Exam costs and all that, I'm sure you can find that out. 200 and something, 40 pounds in UK. And if you're a student, you get discounts. And CompTIA are now doing lots of discounts as well as doing their online exams, which means you can take it from anywhere, which is brilliant. Otherwise, I would have to travel from where I am to 2.5 hours, drive, and then do the exam, and then drive back 2.5 hours, which means my whole day would be wasted. Well, I wouldn't say wasted, but unproductive, So, but well done, CompTIA. Thank you very much for doing that, right? I hope that helps. If you have any questions, please do drop a comment below. The resources I mentioned, I leave a link in the description below as well. And I wish you all the best. Just give it time. If you have the experience, as I said, you can probably do it in a couple of weeks or maybe less. If you don't have the experience, I recommend you do the Security Plus, or even Desktop Plus, Network Plus. Those exams, I haven't done them. I did the Security Plus, and come back to CySA Plus. Focus on, as I said, logs. Checking the logs and interpreting the logs. Some Linux commands, nmap commands, and firewall rules, IDS, IPS systems, incident management, and forensic. Exam objectives. Get them right. Thank you very much. I hope that helps. But as I said, if you have any questions, drop a comment below. I'm happy to answer them. Right? Thank you. Bye bye.